Hey all, here OS Reviews. Today we're taking a closer look at a interesting smart walkie-talkie from Retevis, and this is called the RT78. Walkie-talkies aren't anything new, but this in particular has a Bluetooth functionality, which means you can connect it to a companion app on your smartphone, iOS, or Android, allowing you to even use your phone as an additional walkie-talkie to communicate and create groups that you can manage with that companion software, which is interesting. Now, aside from that, this company does specialize in making all sorts of walkie-talkie models, some of them which come with built-in GPS, allowing you to even track your location. Other versions which have a color display, which have Android built on in and has kind of almost like a rugged smartphone. So they really do have a wide range of options. Again, this RT78 being special for having built-in Bluetooth. It has a 5,200 milliamp hour capacity battery, and you can find a pack of 2 for around $100. So it's not going to be the cheapest walkie-talkie, of course, but for the added interesting functions on board, including the app support as well as IP67 water resistance, could be worth a closer consideration. If you are someone that's doing a lot of hiking or outdoor backpacking, here's a glimpse into how the app kind of looks like when you're able to connect it and allowing you to even make calls in the Bluetooth mode, so that almost turns this into like a Bluetooth headset. Now, in terms of other things that you can take a closer look at for this particular model, when actually talking, it can last for around 12 hours or so. If you are using it in a regular kind of radio walkie-talkie mode, using the UFH bands, you can expect something around the range of 3 to 5 kilometer range, under 5 miles in terms of regular usage, if there's going to be objects in between, like trees and whatnot. If you're in a kind of a theoretical, super open field where nothing is blocking it, it can definitely become longer, closer to say 10 miles or so. The packaging here is pretty eco-friendly. It's just in a cardboard box. We have a quick user guide, and in here there's also a QR code you can download for the companion app, which we'll take a closer look at later. We have one of the walkie-talkies here, and you can see that it does have just a very kind of utilitarian look. It's also shockproof in addition to being dustproof. The removable antenna that you can pop on to further elongate the connectivity range, and otherwise we also have a charging cradle that is pretty neat. Since the entire thing is waterproof, you can simply dock it on here to quickly charge it up. Final small accessory that you get is also a clip that you can use to attach this onto a belt. You can just pop that onto the back plate here, or you can remove it if you're simply holding it in your hands. Again, the construction and design of the RT78 is very retro in terms of it doesn't have any display on here, but it is very solid in terms of the build, made entirely out of this polycarbonate plastic, almost like a rugged smartphone. We have just a large key on the side here that you can press on to basically begin talking and then release to stop. And then we do have some additional controls on the edge for changing the channel. The very top here also contains the power switch that also features the volume control. So I can switch it on just by twisting there. It will tell us that right now it's on the 2nd channel. I can also continue twisting it clockwise to get it at the maximum volume in terms of the speaker, or kind of twist it counterclockwise to turn the volume down. Now there's also going to be a red key on the top that you can double tap to activate the Bluetooth pairing mode. So if I do that here, you can see it will begin to pair, and I can then connect it with my smartphone, headphone jack if you want to connect it something like 3.5 millimeters, and wear a headset. The battery here is detachable, so I can actually pull it off like so, and you can see that this is what it looks like, 5,200 milliamp hours. Now let's turn on both of these units and just do a very quick sample of what it's like to just communicate between the two of them in the regular radio UFH mode. So I'm going to talk using this one here. Press. Hello, this is a test. And you can hear how, again, it's just very clean sounding compared to other budget walkie-talkies that might be, far cheaper, but you might get a lot more static in terms of the quality. But this one here sounds surprisingly clean. Here is another test. Even if you increase the distance, so I was trying this outdoors earlier and walked around a mile apart, you'll start to hear a little bit more of white noise or static in the background, but it's still relatively clean, actually. So overall, the reception quality does seem to be quite good. The antenna is making a difference. What I will say, though, is compared to some other walkie-talkies, it doesn't have like a beep at the end of when you release as confirmation that your message is completed. All right, so the companion app is called HT, and after just jumping into it, it allows you to kind of turn on Bluetooth. It will detect if there's a new walkie-talkie nearby. If you can tap on yes just to quickly link it together. Accept the pairing request. And it may also sometimes allow you to push firmware or software updates over using Bluetooth. This has the potential of improving and having more support and updates. With the firmware updated, we can take a closer look at the app in terms of things that we can control, such as in advanced settings, we can even change the volume directly from here. Gain of the microphone can be adjusted for how sensitive you want it to be. So there's a lot of manual control. Going over here to the message option, you can also take a look at historical messages which have been sent. Test of the Walkie Talkie release, and you can see that the app has basically stored a copy of that message on here that I can listen back to in the future. Press it. Test of the Walkie Talkie. And again, you can hear how the microphone quality is surprisingly clean and crisp. We can also try talking back with the other walkie-talkie as well. Heard it, over. There's a bit of an echo there because we have turned up the volume of our smartphone, and the phone here is basically acting now as a third walkie-talkie, so it will also play back the message and the sound. I can also respond to both of these walkie-talkies using my phone, just by using the app here by tapping and holding. Test using the phone. And you can hear the speakers on the walkie-talkies will play that back as well. These messages, of course, you can also, for example, download into an audio file and save it or share it via email, analyze the sound further in terms of the volume amount, and you can also tap on the side here to create a team, so you can also join different groups. It's pretty similar to, again, WhatsApp or WeChat, but it's using these physical walkie-talkies. So for example, if I only want my app plus this one here to join a team, I can exclude the other one, or I can link even more of these together if I purchase multiple sets and connect multiple ones, different people into a certain group. You can see that the one we're currently connected to, it seems to be still around 70 or 80% full, although it doesn't show it in a percentage form. So maybe that's one thing they can add to the software in the future. And you can also change the channel very quickly from here, hot swap it so everyone is on the second channel or the third channel at a click, which is pretty neat. High power versus low power. So if you probably want to consume less electricity, if you're running out of battery, you can try the low mode. It will transmit over a shorter distance, but that's going to be a trade-off there versus the high power. You can also scan for available channels automatically. FM radio is another function here that you can activate, and it basically becomes just like a radio that you can listen to other music and news channels over the air. Other applications here, such as the ability to send Morse code over, that is really interesting. So if you're in an emergency, you can't really talk because of maybe something that's critical happening around you, or if you're in danger, you can actually send that over and it will be able to monitor and decode it. Last but not least, you can also rename the walkie-talkies, so you can set it to a person's name like John or Amy. You can even visualize a location of the walkie-talkies on a map, although there is no built-in GPS on this particular unit. There is an optional accessory you can connect, or you can use your phone's GPS to do that. So we've zoomed out here, but you can get the idea of what it kind of looks like. You'll be able to estimate where folks are as you communicate. Alright, so that's more or less it as far as our quick hands-on review of the Retevis RT78. On the front, it looks like just a regular walkie-talkie. However, it has a lot of interesting newer features under the hood. So you can check out more details if you're interested in the links down below. This has been kind of a smart walkie-talkie. It's been the Retevis RT78.